Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ada. Yes, my name is as simple as ADA. So in this episode, you guys, I'm going to be sharing with you some information about how to slim down like the Japanese, y'all. You guys have seen them. They're slim. Every single one of them. I have not seen an overweight Japanese person. And so in this episode, we are going to be learning about what is it about them. What makes them so slim? How did they maintain their weight all these years, year after year, generation after generation? They stay the same, slim and not obese. So if this is something that you are interested in learning more about, then stick around, y'all. Let's hear it. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, learning about why the Japanese are so healthy. They are so health conscious, and it is because they are very disciplined people. Okay, it takes a lot of discipline to maintain your weight. It takes a lot of discipline to eat right. It takes a lot of discipline to stay away from sweets, from all the food that fattens you, right? And that is the key. That is what the Japanese have mastered. And so we are going to learn about some of these things that they have to do to have mastered it and to maintain and keep on doing the same thing year after year after year, generation after generation. Okay, so I visited Japan a few years ago and I saw with my own kurukuru eye how disciplined they are. They are disciplined in everything they do. We visited different parts of Japan. We visited restaurants, museums, their workplaces, their marketplace. There's a lot of discipline in that country, and that is why they are so healthy. They live a healthy lifestyle, healthier than everybody else. You know, did you know that only 3.8% of men and 3.4% of women are obese in Japan compared to the rest of the world, where we have a higher obesity rate, right? So, and they live long. They are the longest living people. The oldest person in the world is a Japanese. Okay, so we know that the Japanese, or we hear about the Japanese, having this healthy lifestyle and how they live long. So let's learn from what they're doing and do it too, so that we can live long. Like, who doesn't want to live long? We all want to live long. So let's be copycats and copy from the Japanese and do what they're doing so that we can live long, right? Okay, so let's start with how disciplined the Japanese are. Okay, so this discipline, you guys, starts from when they're little. Their government incorporates health teaching at schools. Starting from elementary school, these kids are taught how to eat healthy. They're taught the different food groups and how to eat portion size. The portion size is really important. And then what you eat, First of all, they have a variety of food. They believe in the variety. If you see a Japanese meal table, it is a very beautiful, very colorful. They have different types of food. They believe in eating a variety of food. So when the presentation is everything, when they present their food and you sit at a Japanese dining table, it makes you hungry. You want to eat, So the presentation is important to them. And, they teach their children from school. They incorporate it, not only teach it, they incorporate it in their meals at school. Like, the kids are required to eat a certain amount of food from the different food groups at school. This is part of their curriculum. And, and then per week, they are encouraged to eat a certain amount of food from these different food groups. So they start learning these things, these habits, these healthy habits from when they're very little. That is why generation after generation, they still know what to do. They still know how to keep healthy and eat right? As opposed to everywhere else, different parts of the world. I would say here in the United States, we're not taught that as little kids, at least not at home and not at school. At school, we are just given hamburgers, quick fix, frozen foods. Those frozen foods are not healthy. The Japanese believe in eating fresh food. That's why they do grocery shopping like several times a week. so that their food is fresh and not frozen. And as opposed to here in the United States, we freeze a lot of our stuff. We buy a lot of frozen food. And those frozen foods they contain a lot of sodium and things that, are not so healthy for you, because the freezing process, you have to put a lot of chemicals in it to make it freeze and, make it stay long or last long. But they buy their food fresh. So that means you got to shop for your food at least a few times a week in order to get that fresh food. We're not used to that. We're not trained to do that. We're trained to just buy some frozen stuff and just throw it in the microwave and do a quick fix. But that's not healthy because it contains a lot of sodium. It contains a lot of preservatives that make the food last long, which is not healthy for your body, right? So that's the reason the Japanese live longer, because they're not eating a lot of chemicals or chemically treated foods. They're eating fresh foods that they just bought from the market, right? That is not chemically treated. Okay, that's one reason. And then another thing is that they like to eat at the dinner table. Unlike a lot of other people, when you eat at the dinner table, your food, your portion size is controlled. You are eating consciously, mindfully, knowing what you're eating and knowing when you're full. You're focused on the food because this is what you are here to do. You're here to eat, and you just stay focused, and you know when you're full, and then you stop. As opposed to other, parts of the world, like here in the United States, people don't eat as a family most of the time. They may eat on the couch, while they're watching TV or doing something or playing with their phone and being distracted. And when you do that, you're not focused on the food. Your focus is not on the food. So you're just eating and not paying attention to how much you're eating, your portion size. You're not paying attention to that. So we tend to overeat when we do that. That's the difference. So there are a lot of things that the Japanese do that helps them control their portion size. And that is all because of discipline. They are disciplined from the time they're born onwards. So they develop that habit of, okay, it's time to eat. Let's sit at the table and eat. Or, let's, do the portion size that I know that this is, and they eat. Another thing is their plates are small. They don't have this one big bowl or one big flat plate where you put a whole bunch of food. They eat with small plates, and that helps control your portions as well. So another thing is also the variety that they eat. Eating foods from different food groups, that limits the calories that you take in as well. Say for instance, in the United States, if we want to eat pasta, we're going to eat a whole plate full of pasta, and that's your meal, right? Well, that's not good because that whole plate of pasta contains a lot of calories, as opposed to how the Japanese would eat pasta. If they were to eat pasta, they would eat the pasta, a small portion of the pasta, plus a small portion of the, something in the meat group, either fish or meat, and a small portion of vegetables, a small portion of fruit, a small portion of something in the milk group, like that. That, is going to make you full, but it's not going to give you as many calories as someone who ate a whole bowl of pasta, right? So that's the difference, guys. So let's learn from the Japanese and be copycats and, copy what they're doing. They're living longer than everybody else. Why? Because of their lifestyle, because of their healthy eating habits, because of their portion size that they eat, because they learned to do this and they're disciplined to continue doing it. They don't deviate from that. When you're not disciplined, even if you start trying, you tend to deviate. But it's never too late to learn, y'all. It is never too late. So if you're not already doing that, now that you have heard and seen this video, you can start today Start today doing what the Japanese do to stay healthy, to eat healthy, and to live long, y'all. We can live to 80 something, 90 something like the Japanese do. Some of them even live to 100 and something. So let's get started, y'all, practicing these good habits so that we can live long like the Japanese. All right? So guys, I hope this was interesting and helpful to you. If it is, please give me that thumbs up so that this channel can keep growing. I can keep bringing you this information. All right? So that's it, guys. And for those of us who have young children, let's educate them about the importance of eating healthy. And, let's start it early, because that's when people really start learning, is when they're really young. That's when you can have, they form habits. Okay? So the younger you start, the better. Let's do like the Japanese, teach our children to start early, knowing about the different food groups and eating the different food groups. Most children in this country don't eat vegetables. They don't eat fruits. They just like carbohydrates and fat. So we can break that habit, y'all. We can, with education and with consistency and discipline. We need to discipline our kids. We need to discipline them. And it starts from when they are very small. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, is what they say. And that is true. You can't start it when they're teenagers. It is already too late. You have to start it when they are in elementary school, incorporating all of these food groups and teaching them how important they are. Okay? All right. Well, thank you for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and so that YouTube will know that this is a good channel, and they can, spread the word and let everybody see my channel so that everybody can watch it, and then the channel will grow, and then I'll bring you more information. Okay? All right. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye now.